Well, hello, stranger. It's been a bit of a minute, hasn't it? I haven't done any videos because I haven't done any content. I haven't done anything on these two because if you're in Australia or maybe New South Wales, you'll know we have just had a long run of wet weather. I'm talking 5, maybe 6 weekends of rain, and not just rain, heavy rain. Me coming down here to check to see if the buses are leaking kind of rain, really flooding rain. It's eased off this weekend. I worked yesterday and I just thought I'd pop a quick video up to let you know I'm still here, I'm still alive, I haven't given up. I've just had some personal stuff going on in my life that I've been able to look after whilst not being able to do anything here. Also, I had the transmission serviced on the F-150 just to make sure after we had that overfill, make sure it had the right, because I don't know what kind of ATF they put in it. Ford absolutely instruct you to use a special Motorcraft ULV. It's not that expensive, so I don't think they're doing it as a money grab like they do for the diff oil. I think that's what they want. It's ultra low viscosity. So we dumped it, new filter, new seals, new everything, just to make sure there was no damage. We didn't find any damage. We didn't find any glitter in the oil. In fact, the mechanic said the oil was pretty good. I thought it was a bit dirty. He said it was fine. So we've refilled it. I've just checked it again because you got to keep checking it to make sure that you don't overfill it. I'm pretty certain it's bang on where it should be, and it's shifting really nicely. It's also going in because while the mechanic had it, he heard that buzzing noise that I just don't know what it is, and he reckons it's the hubs. So I've bought some new hubs. I'll try and get them done this week. They've got the bearing built in. It's a pretty easy swap over. And I think before anyone says, oh, it's a lemon, I think what I'm dealing with is that car sat for around just over 12 months not being driven. After it was used to haul a boat around, it wasn't needed anymore. It got thrown in a shed by, the previous owner, who apparently was quite wealthy. Maybe the kids used it here and there, and then as soon as it was wholesale to the dealer I bought it from, the sales manager started getting it back out in traffic and driving it, and I think we're just dealing with problems. I have the same thing when I go home to the farm. Every 3 months or so, because the cars have been sitting, one of them's going to need something, like the brake drum's stuck, or the needle and seat in the carby's no good. So I think we're dealing with that. I'm happy to get it all done because I want that running perfectly. Anyway, what I'm going to do, speaking of running, I'm going to kick these two in the guts, Barry.
Kick it in the guts, Barry.
And there's a AFL, Aussie Rules football match on that's about to empty out, so I won't go out into the street, but I might just run them around the yard a couple of times each just to get everything turning over. So a very short episode of Steve stuff, but welcome to it anyway. Got myself a new toy, highly recommended by a couple of guys I watch on YouTube. It's called a Gulu. It's basically a jump starter, but one of these new compact ones. I unboxed it at work the other day. It's very powerful, very compact, and I'm just not sure. I've got a feeling at least one of the Merlin batteries might be a bit on the low side, so if I need to, I can use this. I might just dip the tank first just to make sure. I'm fairly certain there's a heap of diesel in there, but we'll just make sure none's leaked out. I don't know if you can see that very well, but we're wet up to about there, and that was sitting down. So I've got, what's that, 2.5 inches of fuel on the bottom of the tank there. That should be plenty. Well, of course it should be plenty. It is plenty because I'm not going anywhere. So next up, battery on. We'll see if it'll start without the jump starter first. If it needs it, we'll give that a try. I think scratch that. I'll just go and turn the ignition switch on in the cab. I just started to panic because I've got no voltage in the cab at all, and then I remembered. Every time I leave this bus for any length of time, I disconnect the battery, so let's just pop the lead back on like an intelligent person. try that again. Now we've got battery, but it is pretty low. So let's see what happens. Okay. Not what I wanted to hear. The lead wasn't on the battery pole properly and it arced it. And melted a little bit of the lead post, but it's okay. It's running. I'll do the decker. Now, I think I started this last 2 weeks ago and it needed to be primed. Could be the case again. That one didn't, but it could be the case with this one. So we'll try it from up here, and if we've got to go up to the engine bay, we'll do that. So ignition on, transmission locked, handbrake on. Nothing. Nothing there. Okay, I've got a relay making a noise down in there. Which is preventing that from starting. So we're going to the engine bay. It's moist, it's been raining a lot. There might be something down there that's a bit of dust, it's got wet, it's causing a problem. Oil. Both doing nicely. A little bit smoky, but they haven't been run for a while. Everything feels all right. There's no binding in any of the wheels or the bearings, or I think that's the first time those brand new tyres have ever turned any further than a couple of metres. If you're wondering what I'm being so precise for, it's because that shed, as you can see, doesn't line up with the gutter, so it doesn't line up with the rest of the yard, but the shed is what I have to clear with the decker. So my two buses are facing kind of a different angle from everything else. So what I got to do is make sure there's space to get something in there if they need to put something in there here at the yard, be it a coach or a truck or something. So the other thing I'm just making sure of, and I've done it once, I wasn't concentrating, I took my eyes off the mirror for a minute and I've backed that skid bar there into that. Gave me quite a shock. So there's plenty of room to get in there, plenty of room to get the engine cover off, plenty of clearance there, and we're just clear of the roof. So that'll do. Just go and turn them off. Stop. Off. I really do need to give this a pressure wash. I was going to, I think last weekend, there was a break in the weather, but someone else was using the ladder, so I let it go. I'm not doing it now. Righto, and engine, stop. 80 degrees, so that didn't get hot, but it didn't do much work. Sat around idling most of the time. Ignition off. Okay, well done, buses. You've all done very well.
You've all done very well.
So there we go. Just a quick one. Let you know we're still around. We haven't given up. It's just been such a crazy wet winter. It's annoying, not just because I can't do much with the buses, but also I commute to work on public transport. I've got a 15-minute run between my home and the train station twice a day, and when it's raining I get so wet, I just get absolutely drenched, and it has been heavy rain. Anyway, they reckon we've got a bit of a dry week, but again, a wet spring coming up, so I don't know how I'm going to go. We're getting very close to taking one of these buses back up home. I don't know which one and I don't know when. I've been asked to run the Decker in Transport Heritage Weekend, which is coming up and the first or second weekend of October. It's a long weekend. I haven't committed to that yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to, because I think I've got a week of leave around there somewhere. I have to take my leave when I'm told, and if I've got a week of leave around that weekend, I'm not staying in Sydney. I'm going up there to see the family. So we'll see what happens with that. I'd really like to give that Merlin, in fact both of them need a good wash again, but especially the Merlin, and get that roof ready to put some clear coat on it. That needs a good week of hot weather for that paint to kind of dry, to get in there, get it clean, get it all the water out, all the moisture out before I can do the clear coat. It's very, very finicky stuff, I guess you could say. It's good. It dries to almost a ceramic coat, but it needs perfect conditions to go on. Fat Albert's going in for new wheel bearings. I'm just waiting for them to turn up. I ordered them the other day. They're embedded in the hub, so they're not cheap, but I managed to get a pair here in Sydney that they aren't charging Ford prices. So I'll get my guys to put those on, and that hopefully will eliminate that funny noise. If it's not those bearings, and we did put a stethoscope to the wheels the other day, and the passenger side is a bit grumbly, the guys said. But if it's not them, the only other thing it can be is the actual IWE, it's called. It's an independent wheel end, and it meshes onto the other side of the hub and connects to the CV joint to the front diff. They are vacuum operated, and they can be a little bit finicky. If there's a problem with the vacuum solenoid or whatever, it could be trying to half engage, and that'll be the noise. But fingers crossed, it's going to be the hubs. We'll know soon. And that'll do me. I didn't even bring a beer down. I wasn't expecting to do a video. It was just when I got here, I thought I'd let you know what's been going on and what we're going through here in Sydney. It's been awful. Absolutely, everything's mouldy. Taree nearly got another flood last week. It's just mental. It's the La Nina or something. So I don't have a beer to toast you with, but once again, thank you very much. Just a short video, just an update, and I'll see you soon on Steve Stuff.